Here we go. You guys did it. You survived another week, another work week. You made it to Friday. And the good news is we are 24 hours away from week 3 of AFLE football here in Europe. You might notice I'm in a little bit of a different environment than usual. I'm on the road, but the grind and the show does not stop. AFLE football takes precedence, and we are here. Of course, I am Nick Alfiero, your co-host on the League Live, and I am with my lovely co-host, my man, up early in the morning like he always is, Danny Mitchell. What's up, Danny?
Man, Nick, this is the week. This is the week to be fired up for this show, man. I can't wait to get into this one. We have 50-50 matchups this weekend. I can't wait to talk about them. Man, we got so much ahead. We got a great guest. Nick, fired up to be here.
Hey.
Chat, can't wait to get you all involved as well.
Hey, there we go. Like you said, Danny, and we said earlier in the year, maybe we had a little bit of appetizer games, appetizer weekends. This weekend is the steak and potatoes for real. You put a little gravy on that. We've got 4 games, 4 pick'ems. These could go either way, all of these. So we're going to talk about those in detail a little bit later and do our actual pick'ems. Everybody in the chat, welcome in whatever platform you are joining us on. Special little announcement for you in the chat today on this lovely Friday. We're going to be giving away an AFLE Game Pass, a season pass in this show, this episode right now. Okay, that's a €50 value. You're going to be able to access everything on AFLE Plus to one of you in the chat. And it's going to be someone that Danny and I picked, somebody who offers a lot of value, who contributes, who asks good questions in the chat, who has good takes, stuff like that. So get active in the chat today. And by the end of this show, we're going to pick one of you guys for a free Game Pass, and we're going to get that going. So good luck to all of you. And Danny, we've got a great guest coming up today. This is going to be an interesting one. So taking a look at what we've got, of course, we're going to take a look at some stuff around the league, a little bit of off the field stories. And then we have got Evan Hillock, the quarterback for the Paris Lights, coming off that week 2 win at home. He's going to come on the show. We're going to ask some questions. And like I said, if you guys have any questions for him, put them in the chat. You can maybe win a Game Pass. And then, of course, we're going to do our individual game previews for 4 games that are sure to be barn burners. We got a great slate for us here. So, Danny, and we're also going to do our power rankings and get the opportunity to score some points. Maybe some of us score a little bit more points than others, hopefully me. Danny, taking a look real quick just at the schedule right now, not getting too deep into it. Which games are jumping out to you?
Man, obviously the first one that we're all going to talk about is that Rhine Fire versus Vienna Vikings game. That's going to be exciting. But before that, you look at the Paris Lights and the Warsaw Panthers matching up. We have a Paris team that's up on the rise and a Warsaw team that we know is a top 3 team in this league, top 4 maybe. We'll find out this weekend where they stand. I'm probably giving away a little bit of my power rankings already because I'm so fired up about these games here.
It's a leak. It's a leak. It's a breach of security. He's already leaking his power rankings. I'm going to use this information against him. Everybody in the chat, look, we got Paul Hebden. Come on, Warriors. Tyson UK. Come on, Warriors. Dust off that and get back to war. So, like we said, if you didn't hear it at the beginning, I'm going to say it a few times throughout the show. One of you guys is going to earn a free Game Pass. So you get active in there, especially when we're talking about the Warriors. Give us your takes. And also, when Evan Hillock comes on the show, give us some questions that you want us to ask him, anything you're wondering about or anything you want to tell him. Hey, you did a good job in your first game in the AFLE. So there we have it. It is going to be an awesome show here on this Friday, leading into an awesome week of AFLE football. Danny, let's take a look real quick at some of our around the league stories here. So the AFLE partnered up with IDTM as the official anti-doping partner of the AFLE. They are WADA compliant. They'll be providing coverage for all 8 AFLE franchises. And Danny, this is not such an exciting topic, really. We talk about anti-doping and drug testing, stuff like that, but very, very important for creating a balanced league that is built upon fairness. I gotta ask you, I had the experience of getting drug tested in Europe a couple times after games, and it's not the most fun experience, I would say, a little bit of a unique experience, but very, very important. And so we've got IDTM who will be providing that for the AFLE and making sure that we're all playing on a level playing field. It's pretty big time, Danny. They're based out of Stockholm, Sweden. Your old stomping grounds, man.
Man, well, I think this also just adds to the level of professionalism of this league, especially starting up because we are only 2 weeks old. But to me, that's why this is so important. Obviously, being an NCAA coach, this is something that we deal with on a daily basis. At the NFL level, it's the exact same thing. So, just to me, fans, everyone that's watching this league, this is just another layer of the professionalism moving forward of what this league could be. Again, this is about growing the game in Europe and what these teams, and we're seeing the excitement. I think this weekend is going to show the competitiveness of this league, man. I can't wait.
We go. And we make sure that competitiveness is all done on a fair and level playing field.
Exactly.
IDTM providing the anti-doping. Now we're getting some people getting active, Danny, in the chat already. They love Fabi says, underrated game question. What's the most underrated game? That's a good question.
In my mind.
We're going to address that, Danny, when we get it. And then Run 68 Bone, welcome on in, everybody. It's great to have you here on this Friday. So, also around the league, the Paris Lights have announced their stadium for the rest of the season. They're going to be playing this weekend at Robert Barron Stadium, hosting the Wrocław Panthers. It's a smaller stadium, but it's right out there by the airport. Very, very considerate of the Paris Lights to pick a stadium right by the airport for the Panthers, who do have to fly in coming from Poland. So they're going to be there for this weekend. And then the last 4 home games will be at the Velodrome and Quartel Stadium, which is like a historic landmark, old stadium with the Velodrome around it. Pretty cool there. So the Paris Lights are setting up and getting that structure in place there. And Danny, maybe we'll ask some questions to our guy Evan Hillock here about the stadium and what he's thinking with all that stuff. And then real quick, Danny, let's jump off the football field. Okay, we're gonna do our off the field story of the week. It's the Alpine Rams, man. They're out there in Biel, Switzerland. And I don't know if you follow the Rams on social media or on Instagram. Saw them, these guys, Gabriel Cunningham, Dev Burrell. They're out here in a park in Switzerland.
Well, you guys can see it there. They're just having a blast all together. They're playing a pickup football game. That's the coolest part. I love that about this. This is what the community of the AFLE football level is about. It's about engaging your fans, engaging the community. That's what these guys are doing. And they go to a park right here. Man, I'm jealous of these guys too. Look at them. They're out there in beautiful Switzerland getting to play football on a normal weekday. I'm up at 5 a.m. here. It was storming the other day. Not to compare that, but man, if I were to choose to where I want to be out there with those guys, man. That's such a great experience for those guys being out there and getting the chance to play little pickup football, man.
Yeah, that's right there is just the epitome of what we like to call import life. Okay, when you're over there, you're living in a beautiful European city. And, you practice usually at night. So during the day, you got some free time. Maybe this is after a workout. You stop by at the park and you engage some local people in the community. You know what? I bet you they just create a couple football fans. I would not be surprised if these people are going to an Alpine Rams game, right?
That's so true. I think that's a great way. And let's talk about even our experiences, Nick, when we were out there. What were ways you got people to go to your games? You went and engaged in the community. I remember being a part of all 3 of those different organizations. How many times we just walked through the city? Hey, we've got a football game this Saturday or Sunday. And they'd ask us, you guys play soccer? No, we'd explain what American football is like. That's a great way for the Rams to start. They're showing their brand to the rest of the city. And what better way than to get to know the people? This is a people game, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're engaging as the players. It's so much more fun when you have the ability to cheer for someone you know and someone that you love, not just the name on the back, but actually a person that you got to engage with. And that's so cool what Gabe did and the rest of his teammates did this week. And hopefully the Rams have built a couple more fans and fill up their stadium their next home game.
There we go, man. So if you guys ever have any ideas for anything for the off the field feature, anything you see off the football field on social media, something like that, let us know. Give us some feedback and we'll be sure to feature it because, of course, this is all about football. But, it's about the community as well. And the Alpine Rams are in the chats. What's up, Alpine Rams? I'm going to be on the call on your game this weekend, okay? So I'm going to be watching you very, very closely. All right. Danny, there we have it. There's our little blast around the league for some off-the-field stuff. Now, drum roll, please. Let's get into one of the most exciting parts of the show. One of my favorite things about hosting this live show here is getting to do interviews with players and coaches. We've got a great one here coming all the way from Canada to Paris, France, the quarterback of the Paris Lights, Evan Hillock, is joining us. Evan, what is going on, man? How you doing?
How we doing, guys? I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, we're very, very excited to have you. And we're going to be watching very closely. Like I said, I'm going to be on the call for your game this weekend. Let's just go back to last week. You guys had that 10 a.m. game, which is a tough start right there early in the morning. Yeah. How did that game go in your mind? Because it felt like, okay, you guys maybe started off a little bit slow, but throughout the game, you really improved. Walk me through the mentality and how everything went from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last time I want to play at 10 a.m. for sure. That was tough. But it was, I mean, definitely a slow start. But, you know, first game of the season, new team, early start time, kind of expected. I was just really proud of the guys about how, you know, we improved throughout the game, kind of stay with it. Our defense held us in it at the beginning, and then offense kind of got rolling. And then we left 1-0, and that was kind of the goal. But definitely a lot to improve on for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got a great team coming in this weekend. Danny, sorry, go ahead.
No, Evan, first of all, it was so impressive to watch you compete that last weekend and how you just kept battling and how the offense, like you just alluded to, that the offense started a little slow, but then, man, you guys really picked it up. And I don't know if you watched the show on Monday, but I'm a huge fan of you, man. I love the way you compete. And the thing that stuck out to me more than anything, man, is at the end of the game, when you had your interviews, how many of your teammates came up and how much they tell you they love you. And I want to ask you this really for the fans. What got you into starting playing football? How did you get into this? And what ultimately led to you being out here playing in the AFLE?
Yeah, so originally I was a baseball player like my whole life growing up. I was a pitcher. I played like pretty high level in Canada. That was kind of my goal, to go to the States for baseball. But my brother always played football. And then the high school that we went to, like everybody plays football. So I played during high school just because, you know, everyone kind of does. But yeah, definitely my brother who got me into it. And then around my grade 12 year, like my senior year of high school, I kind of decided that I was gonna have to go to probably JUCO for baseball in the States. I didn't really want to go too far from home. And the Canadian football university is better than the baseball. So I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna, you know, switch to football full time. And I did that. Ended up going to Western University. And then played 5 years there. Just graduated my last season this fall. And then Coach Sheldon messaged me, and yeah, here I am in Paris.
Yeah,
man, the Paris Lights got real lucky finding you, man. I'm fired up to watch you the rest of this season.
Hey, Evan, I mean, I did an interview with Coach Shelton a few weeks ago, and he was just so thrilled to have you. Obviously, everything that you did at Western University in Canada and your Canadian college football career, I think, what was your record? It was like 38-4, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah, around that for sure.
So basically, the point is that he's like, yeah, I got myself a winner. This quarterback is a winner. Now, we got some great questions here from the chat rattling off. This is from Oliver Gilsena in 1230. Coming from Canadian 3-down football, how hard is it adjusting your pocket timing to a narrower 4-down European field? So I'm also wondering that, adjusting from Canadian rules football to American rules football.
It's different for sure. Actually, my high school went down. We would go down every year to the States and play a game before our season. So I played like 2 games American rules, and we would practice for like 2 weeks with them. And obviously I watched and everything, but definitely the first game, you could tell, you know, I was just trying to get used to it. The field's like smaller. The width is the biggest difference for sure. So yeah, windows are definitely a lot tighter. There's not a yard off the ball, so the D-line are closer. I'm under center now too, which I've never done before. So definitely a lot of adjusting to it. Things happen a little bit quicker, but definitely feel like I'm getting used to it for sure.
How about the 3-down thing, going to 4 downs? Do you like 4 downs better, or do you like 3 downs better? How's that shape your mentality?
I like the 4 downs better. You know, you don't really have to force as much stuff. You got an extra down to play with. So, you know, you can throw it away if you have to. You know, 3-yard completion in Canada, I mean, then you're on a 2nd and long. Here, you're kind of on schedule. So I've liked it so far for sure, the extra down to play with.
Yeah, there you go. You can, you just get an extra shot there to throw another ball. Danny, you got a question for Evan?
Well, how about the irony too, man? Your first touchdown pass in this league is you're under center and you run an action play and chuck that thing up. So you say, hey, I've never taken a snap under center, but your first touchdown is that. That's awesome, Evan. Man, well, we are fired up about you, man. I got a question for you. Because I think I already know this answer. You have a lot of different talents. We saw it show this first weekend, and we're going to get to see it more and more. what do you see as your greatest intangible that you bring to a football team? I think I know mine from you, but I want to hear it from you. I want to know what your greatest intangible from your strengths and you see it.
I think there's two. I mean, one is like my poise. I feel like I played a lot of games at Western. I kind of been, to the highest of highs, to the lowest of lows. So I've dealt with a lot of stuff. So I've kind of, learned how to stay even keel and just kind of roll with the punches. And then from more of like a physical, I think my accuracy is a big thing. So I think that's definitely something I can bring here. Just be accurate with the football, get the guys, like you said, we got a lot of playmakers. Just try to be that point guard, just get them the ball and just, kind of let them work.
There we go. Hey, we got a great question here from the chat, and then I've got a question for you. This is from Tyson, UK. Is there a team you're most looking forward to playing against this year?
Not really. I'm excited for every game, to be honest. Just the next game on the schedule. I'm excited for them all. So I've never played against, any of these teams other than Firenze. So now I'm just excited to, play against everyone.
That's the perfect quarterback diplomatic answer right there. Want to know. We're not getting caught up with, looking three games in advance. I like that. Keep it close to your chest, Evan. My question, as a quarterback, you obviously have to be a leader on the football field. This is your first time to Europe. Now, obviously, this is a brand new team, so there's a lot of guys coming together. But how do you establish yourself as the leader coming over as a Canadian player? We've got a lot of French guys around you. Is that a difficult challenge?
For sure, yeah. I kind of I started as a freshman at my university, so I kind of compare it similar to that. You kind of want to win your guys over by your play first. I mean, the guy who just comes in is the loudest in the room. Sometimes guys aren't really gonna like that. So that was kind of my mentality. Just treat it like when I was a freshman. Come in, kind of earn the respect through my play, and then as I've done that through training camp, now try to build a voice and just build connections with these guys. For sure.
Yeah, I always wonder about that. That's a big challenge you're coming over, especially if you're going to like a team that's already established. There's a little bit of a different wrinkle with the Paris Lights because it is a new team. How about Coach Shelton? What is it like to play for Coach Shelton? Because I don't know, from the outside, I feel like he could be a super intense guy. What is it like to be on a team coached by him?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Shelton, that's my guy. I mean, I owe a lot to him. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. He took a chance on, a Canadian quarterback when it might have looked a little weird from the outside. He believed in me. But I mean, yeah, he can definitely be intense at times, but he also kind of lets the players kind of lead the team as well. So I think he has a good pulse on that and a kind of a good balance. But it's been great so far, and I love playing for him for sure.
That's interesting. Wilfred, I did an interview with him the other day, and he said a similar thing. He said he was very impressed with how Coach Shelton, he'll establish some leadership like through leaders, and then let them kind of take that as well. So it also always ends up being a little bit better when players are, getting on other players and teammates holding each other accountable. So it's interesting. Both of you guys have said that. Two people. It must be true. Danny,
for sure.
You got something?
Man, Evan, it does sound like you guys have a culture of leadership through you guys, like you just said, but you also see it. I saw it on the field. You saw it come to fruition when you guys got down 8-0 last week. My question to you is this, and I know this is probably a challenging question. Where do you see the Paris Lights? It's the end of this season, the last game of the season. Where do you see the Paris Lights from that last game of this season?
I mean, our goal is to make the playoffs. Obviously, we got to get better every week, but I think we're a playoff team for sure. We obviously have a lot to build on, but we got 11 more games to build, so it's a long season. But yeah, definitely a playoff team for sure. And then when you get into playoffs, I mean, anything could happen. So,
hey, stick around for the power rankings, Evan. Okay, we're gonna be doing those a little bit later. And by the way, if you guys in the chat missed it, we are giving away a free game pass. If you've got any questions for Evan or any comments here, make sure you get active in the chat. How about this, Evan? Because you are a Canadian quarterback, not an A, you're an I import, the only one in the league, very unique. You're making history here. You have the opportunity to have two American wide receivers. You got Tristan Wallace and JJ Hop. Just from watching the first game, obviously those are two of your favorite targets. It seemed like in this game, Tristan was a little bit more of the big play guy. JJ was a little bit more of the possession guy. But can you talk about what you think those two guys' strengths are?
For sure. I mean, I think they're both special players. I'm lucky to play with both of them, and we're lucky to have both of them. I think they complement each other well. But the biggest thing is I think they both can do everything. Like you said, we kind of saw Tristan take the top off and JD kind of be like the underneath guy. But I think they both can do both roles. And it's just kind of whatever the game plan dictates for that week. So, yeah, they're both special players. Really smart guys, fast. Obviously, Tristan's a little bit bigger and JJ's a little bit smaller. But JJ can go up and win contested catches too that we've seen in camp, and I'm sure you guys will see soon. And then, yeah, just both smart players, great route runners, and good with the ball in their hands. So I'm lucky for sure.
That's pretty awesome. Do you have any sort of chip on your shoulder? Because when I talked to Wilfred, he talked about going to the States, and I said, what's the adversity you had to face? And he said, being French, man, I had to stand out more than some of the other American guys because people were thinking, oh, this is a French guy. Can he really play? Do you feel that chip being the only Canadian quarterback in this league?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely, I've seen the talk, I've heard it. I'm just, Coach Sheldon believed in me. I believe in myself. So I'm just trying to, prove myself right. Every day when I come out there, prove Coach Sheldon right. But I would say definitely I have a chip on my shoulder, 100%.
Yeah. Some of that talk might have come from this show. Ignore those idiots. Ignore those idiots. It wasn't me. It was Danny. Danny, you want to hit this question from the chat here from Tyson?
Yeah, that's the one I was looking at as well. I think this is a great question. So Tyson asked, is there a QB that you looked up to when you were growing up and why?
So growing up, I'm a Colts fan. So Andrew Luck was my favorite quarterback, my favorite player. Just, how he took command, he stood in that pocket, took hits, so smart. So he was my favorite growing up. And then I really loved, watching Joe Burrow, at his LSU career. Just kind of, not the biggest guy, not the fastest, but just accurate with the ball, a really good competitor. Definitely Andrew Luck when I was growing up, and now probably Joe Burrow is probably my favorite.
Those are two good answers right there. All right, this is an interesting one, a little off the field here from They Love Fabi. Adjusting to Paris, adjusting to life in France. Have you experienced any culture shock moving from Canada to Paris, France?
Air conditioning, that's the biggest one for sure. We had a heat wave last week. Whew, it was hot in here, man. So that's definitely the biggest one. That was something I didn't expect. I got like 3 fans going. So,
brother, hey, man, don't even get me started on this topic. I'll be talking. I just made a whole 10-minute YouTube video deep diving into the cultural history and the scientific reasons for all this. So, hey, I'm right there with you, man. Danny, you got something else for Evan?
Man, Ev, first of all, again, we can't thank you enough for being on this show, man, and watching you compete. I want to actually jump away from football for a second. What's been the best experience for your time so far outside of being a part of the Paris Lights? What's been the best experience living in Paris, maybe going on vacation? What's been the best experience so far coming out to Europe?
Yeah, I think there's been 2. I mean, just spending time with the guys, getting to know them. We went down and saw the Eiffel Tower, kind of saw the stuff like that. And then my brother was in town for the first game, actually. So it was cool. He came to Paris, he was at the game. And then we went down and saw the Eiffel Tower, ate down there. So I think those 2, having my family coming out here to see Paris, and then just spending time with the guys off the field as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a great spot to maximize that import life, Evan. I mean, you're gonna have a good summer in Paris on and off the field. Last thing from me, you guys got the Vosla Panthers coming in this weekend. Obviously, this is another very good team. You're coming off a win. You guys have a little bit momentum building here. What do you see in the Vosla defense that you think is going to be a challenge, something you guys have to kind of battle against?
For sure. I mean, they're a really good team. One of the top teams in the league for sure. So it's going to be a good test for us. I think we're up to the challenge. They fly around on defense. They got a lot of playmakers. Bring a lot of pressure and stuff. So yeah, it will be. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good game. Everyone tune in. It's going to be a good one for sure.
There we go. Everyone tune in. Like we said, we're giving away a game pass to one of you here in the chat. Whoever impresses us, whoever jumps out. You guys had some good questions for Evan. We appreciate that. Evan Hillock, man. Quarterback of the Paris Lights. Dude, we appreciate you so much coming on the show, man. We're excited to have you here in Europe making a splash. Oh, last thing, lest I forget. We always end our interviews with a little game here. 2-minute drill, okay, Evan? And you got 4 downs in this 2-minute drill.
Perfect.
So what it's going to be is these questions are going to pop up quickly, and you answer them as fast as you can. You answer as many as you can, and depending on how many you answer, you get a point that you can allocate to give to either Danny or to me or to the people in the chat. That's up to you. So let's roll it up. Let's go. 2-minute drill. Here. 3, 2, 1. 2-minute drill. All right. Evan, do you have a pregame song?
Long Journey by Rod Wave.
Knicks or Spurs, if you're an NBA fan?
Spurs. I'm a Celtics fan, so we got to go to the West.
Yo.
Aggressive defense for sure.
Oh, there you go.
Coffee.
There we go. Man, he's flying up the quarterback,
I don't even
man.
need it.
That's French food. Ooh, baguette.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
American rules. I'm here now, so let's go, American. Paris Lights. Ooh, Jameson.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
Nice, dude.
Night game. I'm a night game guy for sure. Quarterback.
Yeah.
Corner. Sail route.
Okay.
Center guard tackle. 12.
I think it's 14.
14 bye weeks. My fault. 14.
Buzzer.
Outside zone. Last play, just try to take a shot. Everybody goes deep. A prayer. Interception. I'll do the gritty. That one kind of went crazy with Justin. I don't drink, so I don't know. Mostly Canadian. Shout out Canada. 8. Oh, snowstorm in Canada. We played in a blizzard, so that was definitely the worst one. North Division. Is Paris Lights? Is that us?
There you go.
Pass game, sure. Tom Brady.
Oh, hey. Oh, there you go. Keep going.
Oh, I keep going?
10 seconds.
After you score a touchdown, you go for 2 after instead of kicking the extra point. Play action. Friday night. I'm a paper guy. Ooh.
Okay. Damn. Evan, you just broke world record. Danny, he did a genius thing by making us obsolete. Like usually we ask the questions and then it slows it down and like, hey, that's a guy, Danny. That's a guy that just takes command of the situation, takes command of the game. I mean, hey, that says a lot about you, Evan. That says a lot about you. You got 25. So, Maxie, how many points did he get? I can't see it here. How many
3.
points?
You got 3 points on it. I mean, this is by far the highest score we've ever had. That's why he had, man, that's what quarterbacking is about making great decisions as quickly as possible. Hey, Evan, you get to allocate where those points go. I just want to remind you, I just said you were my favorite quarterback in the league on Monday. Not to persuade you. Here we go.
I got 1 point to give. I'm gonna give it to Coach for sure.
Okay, hey, we'll talk about this, man. You do it.
Hey, I'm not playing the rules. I'm just playing the rules, man. I'm playing the game. I appreciate you, Evan.
You got 2 more, Evan.
Oh, I'll divvy it up then. 1 to the chat and 1 to you, Nick, as well.
Heck yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right. No, I was an afterthought, but I still got a point. I appreciate that, Evan. Appreciate that, man. Evan Hillock. There we go. Great job on the 2-minute, Joe. I actually like that format better. Danny, we just let the guys read them. That's great.
Evan, I love that.
Have a great.
Yeah, Evan, man. I know Nick froze for a second there. We just want to wish you all the best going forward. That's how you play, man. We all see it. This is why, and I truly mean it, man. You are absolutely one of my favorite players in this entire league, and it's because of how you carry yourself and the way you lead that team, man. So we wish you all the best. I do agree with you. I think you got more than just your regular season coming up, and I can't wait to watch you this weekend to show that, man. So thank you for being on the show.
I appreciate that, Coach. Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Man, I wish you had 1 more year of eligibility, man. I could get you over here at UAB, man.
There we go. All right, Evan, if you can hear me, appreciate you, man. Good luck tomorrow. I'll be on the call saying your name a lot.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Yep. Have a great one.
We'll see you, brother.
This guy rocks, bro. This guy rocks. We're not talking enough about him, man. I think, obviously, when we have quarterbacks in the league or that have played in Europe before, guys that we're more familiar with, your Ben Holmes, your Jameson Wong, your Jake Sullivans, we're talking a lot about them in the preseason. He came out on Saturday, really made a splash. And I love his attitude. I love his mentality. I love his personality. And he seems like a great leader. What's your takeaway from talking to him?
Well, it's everything I thought he would be, right? When I was talking about that on Monday, what really stood out to me about Evan was the intangibles about him, and watching all the players, all his teammates come up to him after the game and just telling him how much they love him. That is the culture that guy brings. That's what makes great quarterbacking. That's also, I'm going to jump ahead in the show already. That's what's going to make this pick so hard for me. You got Evan Hillock versus Jamison Wong. I mean, we talked about Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. That's what it is in this game for this league. I'm telling you, man, these are two greats in this league that are going to clash it out. It's going to be a really hard decision. I hope you have to pick first, because then I'll make my decision.
I'm going to try and order this. I'm going to try and order this to make you pay for it. I'm having a blast, man. How lucky are we to be hosting this show? You talk to great players, great guys, get to talk about football. The chat's on fire today, you guys. Love you guys there in the chat. So, hey, they love Fabi. So, Danny still is a coach at UAB. Yeah, Danny is.
Yeah, that was my answer. Yeah, that's why I answered the way I saw that, Fabi. Appreciate you asking. That's why I answered that too. I tried to mold my answer into my question. So,
smart man. This guy's a professional host. Okay. All right. With that being said, Danny, it's time to get into our power rankings heading into the week 3 slate of games. We've seen 2 weeks of action. All right. And we have got our power rankings. We locked them in. You and I both don't know what we put in our power rankings. Chat, if you guys know this, if you've watched our previous shows here, you know the drill, but I will explain it to you for you. You're going to pick a position on the power rankings. Okay. And Maxie, maybe you can tell me which position it will be. It'll be 1 through 8. Okay. It's going to be number 5. All right. You guys in the chat have to try to guess who one of us put at 5. Danny, you guys have to guess what team Danny Mitchell has at number 5 in his power rankings this week. Start putting that in the chat. We're going to see how many votes you guys get. And if you guys get it right, then you will get a point. So get active in the chat. See if you can try and decipher what's going on in Danny Mitchell's genius football head over there in Alabama. And you put that in the chat. Now, Danny, so you and I actually have to try and guess each other's number 5. Yeah. All right. You want to try and get after me first?
Yeah, you know what? I am. I'm going to try my best at this. Well, first of all, I think I'm going to be hard to get into this head. I don't even know what's going on in this head. I say this, Nick, man. Well, let me think who you got at number 5. You know, obviously last week you had the Rams pretty high, and I think they showed some good things in their performance versus Berlin. But I think obviously them losing to Berlin had them drop. You know, we just got to talk to Evan. I think Paris is somewhere up there. I'm going to go between Paris and Berlin. I'm going to guess you have Berlin there. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going with Berlin from Nick at the 5 spot. We'll find out.
Very interesting. The chat's getting active right now. The chat's tied for you, Danny, at Paris and Alpine. Yeah. There's another vote for Paris at 5. Oh, yeah, Paris is kind of pulling away here. So you think I've got Berlin at 5. And Danny, you did this to me last week. You kind of accused me of projecting, and I'm going to go ahead and accuse you of projecting. I think you've got Berlin at number 5 because I think you have Paris at number 4. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. And that's what I'm thinking right now. So I'm going to put Berlin at 5. You're also guessing Berlin at 5 for me. So chat, what did chat end up? They guessed the Paris Lights for Danny Mitchell at number 5. So let's scroll on up. We're going to start off with number 8. And this one's not a huge surprise, I think. I do have the Firenze Red Lions still at number 8. Danny, how about you?
Yeah, the same thing. I did think I've got Firenze at number 8, but I do think they showed some great flashes last weekend versus Paris. We saw it in the opening drive. We just want to let's see those strides keep going forward. I don't know if they're quite ready to move up from their spot in that 8 spot.
Yeah, I think that's a fair spot for them. They have a home game this weekend, so maybe they can kind of figure things out, get a little bit of rhythm there. Like we talked about, that was a long bus ride, battling injuries, etc. So we've got them there. And for me, Danny, at number 7, I have got the London Warriors sitting at number 7. They have had a tough draw, though, man. I mean, we talked about this on Monday. They come out in their first ever season playing at the European-wide stage, and they play the Wrocław Panthers in the Rhine Fire. Very, very tough. Showed a little bit more promise in week 1 than they did in week 2, but hey, who can blame them? You're on the road against the Rhine Fire. Who do you have at 7?
Well, you and I have the same number 7. I do have London at number 7 as well. And the reasons are very similar, right? They've played 2 really tough opponents, obviously 2 top teams in this league. But again, they have to get it rolling, right? It's not like they've played those teams. They've battled them, but we want to see them put a full game together, which I think they're capable of doing. And this is a great week for them to do that.
Here we go. Someone in the chat
I
said,
love it. This cracked me up, man.
the top four are obvious, but Danny could have anyone at 5, including Manchester United.
He's gonna get it right too. He's gonna get it right. I got Manchester United at number 5. We already know TK. You know me, man.
Hey, Danny, right now TKYO. That's you're in the conversation for the Game Pass right there. You make us laugh.
Yeah, right there.
We don't forget a good joke. We don't forget a good joke. All right.
Yeah,
So,
chat, you're $50 today. That's awesome. I'm not allowed to touch that as an NCAA coach, man.
that's an ethical violation, and also not even $1.50 euros, which is
euros. That's more. You're right.
Yeah,
I got to say, all right, let's get back to it. I'm sorry, Nick.
There we go. Exchange rate number 6, and I'm heartbroken about my decision here, but I have the Alpine Rams at number 6. I called their game, so I literally watched every single snap of them last week. First half was tough. Second half, if I'm talking about just the second half Alpine Rams, I don't think I would have them down there at 6. I think actually they came out of halftime, and this is a testament to Coach Josh Fitzgerald getting that team right, moving into the second half. 20 penalties is something that I cannot forget. So right now I have them at 6. I don't like that. I think that they truly are better than that. But from what I have seen so far from the teams, they're falling at 6 for me. Who do you have?
Well, Nick, I think we're seeing very similar things in this league. I also have the Rams at 6, and I do still have that same hope. That's why I ranked them so high to start. And we saw those flashes, like you said, in the second half. But again, full games. We want to see these teams, these brand new teams, right? The Rams, the Warriors. Warriors are semi-new, and the Red Lions put together full games. Well, when they get an opportunity this weekend, again, the Rams got an opportunity this weekend to make a jump to making that next step to playing all 4 quarters and pull off a victory.
So there we go. Hey, you know what? What a nice compliment you gave me. I'm seeing similar things in this football league that you, a Division I college football coach, are seeing. That's a nice thing I've ever been told. Thank you, Danny. But I think here in the middle of these power rankings, we're talking about that 4, 5, 6 position right now. Very, very difficult. And I went back and forth. I slept on it, trying to make a decision. I woke up this morning and I flip-flopped. So right now I have the Paris Lights at number 5. I was flirting with having them a little bit higher. So Danny, unfortunately, you were incorrect, because you did not guess that I had the Paris Lights. You guessed the Berlin Thunder. Chat guessed you have the Paris Lights, so we're going to have to wait and see. Danny, who did you have at number 5?
Man, well, I thought you were all about the Thunder going to be at that spot. I didn't think that really broke my heart. But I said earlier that you and I are seeing things the very similar way. The chat is spot on. I also have the Paris Lights at number 5. And the reason why I think the Paris Lights have shown they've got flashes to be a top team. And it was really hard for me to make that decision so far, because obviously we love talking to Evan, but they've got a challenge this next week. We're going to see if they're a little too low this week when they match up against the Panthers.
Wow. Okay. So chat gets the points, do they not? Right? We were both wrong.
They do.
Danny, I mean, you and I, we don't know each other like we thought we do. We don't. Hey, we got to bond some more. So both of us having.
I tried the psychology. It didn't work. I tried the psychology trick.
Didn't work. So now getting into the top 4. These are the 4. Playoff spots. This is what we're talking about here, and I think that number 4 spot is really interesting. And this is a very difficult one here, but I have the Berlin Thunder at number 4 again. In that game against the Rams, way too many penalties. But Jacob Sullivan, I think, really stepping into that position that he's been in for many years. You kind of see that leadership and that ability there. I do like the receiving core that they've had, but they just got to clean that up. Coming off that win, which I think was a tough win on the road in the rain against the Alpine Rams, who are a good team. I've got them at number 4. How about you?
I also have Berlin at number 4, and you said exactly the name why I have him at number 4, Jacob Sullivan. Jacob Sullivan puts you in every single game, every single moment, and you saw that come this past weekend. Man, I think this moving forward too, Berlin could make a little run here. They could find their stride and make a run and find themselves competing for a playoff spot. So I also have Berlin at number 4.
There we go. Okay. Hey, guys in the chats, we see that you're making your game picks. Wait a second here, because we're going to actually get into our game pick segment here in a second. And you guys are going to have to vote. So hold off on that. We're going to get in the game picks once we finish here with the power rankings, and you guys are going to get the opportunity to put that in. Danny, someone said Mitchell Family E8Q in the chat says, hi, Dan. Mitchell Family. Could be a relative.
Hi, Mitchell Family.
There we
That
go.
might be could be my mom, my dad. I don't know. It's 2 a.m. in San Diego. So it might be someone posing as family. Hi, family. Great to have you on.
Hey, Mitchell. So, Danny, for me at number 3, I have kept the Panthers Vlosla at that spot. Solid showing against the Vienna Vikings, ultimately coming up short. Those turnovers played a big factor. I was very impressed with Wong and Harley. We've talked about them a bunch, but they're staying there at that number 3, kind of securely locked at that number 3 until I see something major changing that position. What about you?
Well, you and I are spot on that. I do have Panthers at number 3. Again, I still think this is a team that has the ability to waver between that 1, 2, 3 spot if they really get it going. We saw flashes of it last weekend. They were beating the Vienna Vikings, and then the Vienna Vikings started to pull away. But we obviously know they're up there on the top. And we know who the top 2 teams are. We're going to really find out who's number 1 this week.
Well, hey, that is. Oh, it's your dad, and it's 3:30 in the morning.
Hey, Dad. All right.
Love that. Your dad is fired up about AFLE ball. And we got in the chat Mike Harley Jr. from the Vlosla Panthers, who is currently leading the league in receiving statistics and putting on a show. What's up, Mike? Good luck this weekend. I'll be on the call, hopefully saying your name a lot. Number 2, Danny. The 2-1, obviously. It's going to Rhein Fire and the Vienna Vikings. I've got Rhein still at 2, and I have Vienna at 1, obviously. This game this weekend is what we have all been waiting for. Generali Arena in Vienna. It is going to be a fantastic showdown, top-level European-American football. But right now, I still have them at Vienna 1, Rhein at 2, unless I see something different this weekend. How about you?
Yeah, we're matching in that. I have Vienna 1, Rhein at 2, but we're going to find out this weekend. I'll keep it that short. We're going to find out who the real number 1 team is in this league this weekend.
There we go. So those are our power. Danny, whoa, look at that. Just right down the slate.
Yeah.
Equal power rankings exactly for both of us. But we'll see, man. This weekend is the weekend where the games are really pick'ems, and we're going to see how this all shakes up. Speaking of which, it's time. Let's get into our game picks, and we're going to start off with that first one tomorrow. Vlosla Panthers at the Paris Lights, and let's take a look at the trailer for that game. Kicking off week 3 in the AFLE, the Vlosla Panthers travel to the French capital looking to bounce back after a tough-fought loss against the Vienna Vikings.
Panthers 42-23.
The Paris Lights will play host to the Polish squad, looking to build off their first ever victory as a franchise last week. Canadian quarterback Evan Hillock made a splash in his European debut, dishing out 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions.
And Hillock throws the ball deep, and he has a wide open receiver. And this is the first touchdown ever for the Paris Lights.
Despite last week's loss, Panthers quarterback Jamison Wong continued to prove he's one of the best quarterbacks in Europe, throwing for over 350 yards and continuing his dynamic connection with Mike Harley Jr.
5 gets behind the secondary, and he's in for the touchdown.
Paris defense, led by former NFL DN Wilfred Penney, will look to slow down the Panthers' offense, as 2 experienced head coaches and David Shelton and Dave Likens will battle it out in Paris. All right, Janet, you ever just get sick? You ever get sick of just hearing my voice? I mean, you know,
I love it. No, I don't. My favorite movie is Unicorn Town, and I could watch it over and over again. So, no, I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm a huge fan of you, Nick, but more importantly, we are great friends. So that's what's about.
My man. I'm lucky to be hosting this show with you. All right, hey, awesome trailer for the people who edited that together. Now let's take a look at this game. Danny, kicking off the weekend. Panthers coming to Paris here. And we can take a look here at some stats. We can throw those up. Obviously, Jamison Wong has been on fire. He's leading the league, 582 yards through the air. You look at kind of the average passing stats. It's not too different here. Obviously, Paris with just 1 game here. But Evan Hillock, this is a quarterback who is also operating at a very high level. What are your initial thoughts on this game?
A war. I think this is going to be a battle. And Evan even said it. He knows they're going to be going into a game, and we see it right there with the stats. There's a lot of similarities. Obviously, Paris has only played one game. Warsaw has 2 under their belt, but I think it comes back to the quarterback play. And we have 2 great quarterbacks going at each other. I think it's going to matter who has the ball last. You know, one thing that's underrated on both of these teams, which we all got to see, and maybe it's not underrated, but these are 2 great defenses competing against each other as well. You know, as much as we saw the Panthers last week having to play the explosive Vienna Vikings offense, you know, Jordan Newman as the offensive coordinator, the weapons they all have, I thought the Panthers did a pretty good job defensively. So I do think it's going to come down to that, those secondary matchups as well. Man, this is going to be a really exciting game and a really hard one to pick, which is why I want you to pick first.
Oh gosh, you put me in a tough spot here. And chat, we in a second here will throw up where you guys can actually put your picks in for this game. And this is the exciting thing about this weekend, Danny, is basically all of these games can really go either way. So in the chat, put Panthers or Paris and vote on that, and we will get you guys your position locked in. Here's the thing, Danny. I think that the Panthers, obviously a more experienced franchise, having been around a lot longer, and they've also been a little bit more battle tested, having to play Vienna and having to battle in the game, and obviously ultimately losing. And then, you know, going on the road in their first game, going to London, that was also that's a battle in and of itself. Paris Lights really ran away with it in the second half against Firenze. So this will be the first real battle for the Paris Lights. But I do think, just what you said, it does come down to those 2 quarterbacks. And obviously you got 3 great import wide receivers. The defensive-minded head coaches, Dave Likens for the Panthers, David Shelton for the Lights. Both of these guys very experienced in their own different ways that really inspire players. I mean, when you talk to the players that play for these guys, both of them really, really make an impact on these guys. So we're looking at the chat, Danny. It's tight, man. It
feels like us, man. It's back and forth. I see it go 50-50. I see Paris take over. Now it's Warsaw, man. This is that game. We don't know who's going to pull this one off. This is going to come down to the very last series, in my opinion. But like we said, it's going to be able to control the ball, number one. What we saw from Warsaw last week, they put themselves in a really tough position versus one of the top teams, if not the top team, we'll find out with the Vienna Vikings, by fumbling on the first play of the game. So it's about controlling the football. We also saw the Paris Lights start off really slow offensively. They can't do that this week. You've got 2 great teams batching up with each other, but it's going to come back down to that turnover battle, the cleanliness of what they play with as well. So I think that's going to be a huge part and a huge step for both teams coming into this Paris versus Warsaw game this weekend.
There we go. TKYO made me laugh again in the chat. Says nothing gives away a Euroball head more than overrating a Paris team. So I don't know. We see. I don't know, man, if we're overrating them or not.
Oh, man.
That's a great. It's going to be, I think, a very exciting game. I am going to go, though, because of the experience, I'm going to go with the Panthers in a game that I think it will be very, very entertaining. I think Paris will still have to work through some more growing pain kinks, stuff to work out. Obviously, they had a little bit of that in the second half, but really was a little bit more smooth sailing in the second half. They're going to have to battle through some of that being a new team. I'm going to go in a tight ball game. Give me the Panthers. Danny, are you with me or are you against me?
I've got to make the choice here. I've loved talking with Evan. You know, obviously my guy, Xavier Edwards, is on that team in Paris. I think they have the capability to hopefully – you'll never stop Mike Harley Jr. That's the truth. You're not going to stop him, but can you slow him down? Man, I'm going to have to go with my gut on this one, though. I'm going to pick the Panthers. And the reason why I'm going to pick the Panthers is Jamison Wong. I think when we watch Jamison play, the intelligence he plays with back there, the warrior mentality that he plays with, the ability to deliver the ball not only to Mike Harley Jr., who we always get to see, but the other players around him. I think he makes his team better by who he is, not just how he plays the game, but you see the passion, the fire, the fight that he showed versus Vienna. I think that's going to be a little too much for Paris this coming weekend, but I can't wait for these teams to match up again. But I'm going to go with the Panthers, and hopefully, Paris, you make me regret that decision.
Hey, Evan, I hope you're still watching this show and you clip this part here and you prove these two fellas wrong. And but we're going with the Panthers, I think, in a close one here. The chat also did, but the Paris was getting a good amount of votes right there. So we're going to revisit that on Monday to see who was right. Evan, prove us wrong, man. So that'll be an awesome one. Make sure you tune in. AFLE Plus, like I said, I'll be on the call on that. We are giving away a Game Pass here. Keep being active in the chat. Moving on to our next game. Berlin Thunder on the road again. They were in Switzerland last week. Now they're headed to Florence, Italy to play the Firenze Red Lions. Let's go ahead and throw up the trailer for this one. The Berlin Thunder are on the road again after earning their first victory of the year over the Alpine Rams in a rainy showdown in Switzerland. They travel to the beautiful city of Florence, Italy to take on the Red Lions, who will look to bounce back after a tough loss on the road in Paris.
Oh, he tries to hurdle a defender.
Red Lions quarterback Matthew McKay will look to get that offense going after stalling out in week 2.
McKay, he had some pressure coming at him.
Sean Cooper's Berlin squad is looking to keep the momentum going, and it'll all come down to veteran quarterback Jacob Sullivan.
Into the end zone, touchdown, Berlin Thunder.
Sullivan has started off hot this season, finding success distributing the football to his three-headed monster wide receiver in Cole, Kawanda, and Chum. Can the Red Lions bounce back and get on the right track at home, or will the Berlin Thunder walk away with back-to-back road victories? It's Week 3 action in the AFLE in Florence, Italy. Right, Danny. Florence, Italy, man, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And this is interesting. Berlin Thunder, like we said, they're on the road for the first 5 games of the season. And that is sure to take a toll on the team, just constantly being on the road, constantly having to travel, kind of a big emotional hangover possible win for last week in Switzerland against the Rams. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, first of all, how awesome are those trailers, man? We got to credit our editors, the voice behind it, everyone behind it. Man, those trailers are awesome, man. I think about that. You get a trailer to watch those games. That's incredible how those are done. But like you said, Berlin's going to be on the road for a long time, but I do think they're hitting their stride. Man, I'm excited to see what the Red Lions put out there, though. Again, we saw some flashes of the Red Lions being a competitive team. They took the lead early on versus Paris, go up 8-0. I thought they controlled the ball well. They're extremely well coached, and they may look on paper overmatched at times, but I think they're in every single game just because of how well they're coached, man. So I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, this will be an interesting one, man. I think we didn't see too much from Florence in that first game. It almost felt like they were just battling the adversity of that trip and the injuries and kind of, having a player break his leg. And they were trying to just get out of there unscathed as much as possible. So that's why I'm really curious to see them in their home environment where they're able to have a little bit more of a rhythm and kind of get a routine going here. So I do think that is to their advantage. But I just need to see something more. When you have a quarterback like Matthew McKay, you will have the ability to have explosive plays, and we saw some of that. But I think the kind of consistency and the trajectory that the Berlin Thunder are on right now, they're sort of moving in the right direction. Sean Cooper, I think, is turning that ship in the right direction. Got to clean up the penalties, of course, but I do think that this one is gonna be for me. This is the one game this weekend where I feel like we do have a clear underdog. And to me, that would be Florence. So you guys can put in the chat who you think is going to win in this one. Danny, what would Florence have to do to be able to walk away with a win in this one?
Well, I love a true underdog, and they recognize that. I actually saw that last week. I don't know if that was actually the plan, but the way I watched them play versus Paris, it seemed like they approached that game the same way. They approached it in a way that they were the underdog. You saw them running the ball, trying to establish the run early on, right? When they were throwing the ball, they were safe and conservative. The ball was out quick. Now, obviously, there were some turnovers later in the game that made that game shift. But, man, I think the Red Lions, in order for them to compete in this one, again, it's about how can you control the football. And I know this sounds cliche, but then not beating yourselves, right? Not putting yourselves in penalty situations where you're going to let the Berlin defense tee off on your quarterback. And McKay's a heck of a football player, which is why I think they'd have a shot. But it's about them controlling themselves first and making this thing. Again, I've said this from a couple games before, right? I said this when Berlin had to match up against Vienna. It's now on the opposite side. I said Berlin cannot go into that game and beat themselves. They need to put themselves in a fight that Vienna didn't want to be in. Well, it's the same thing for the Red Lions. They need to create a way to be in a fight with Berlin that they don't want to be in, and see in 4 quarters if Berlin can finish it off, because they've been on the road every single game. That's where this thing will come down to.
Yeah. I do think the fact that it's a home game for Florence and that it's the 3rd away game in a row for Berlin, this could play a factor. And we said that Ricardo Foglio in the chat also says that home game could have his impact, though. A thing for Florence last week, they were 0 for 10 on 3rd down. So I would like to see them improve that number a little bit. Just have to be able to keep drives alive. You can't be going 3 and out. You can't be just getting knocked off the field every time you get to a 3rd down situation. So with all that being said, Danny, the chat has picked overwhelmingly in Berlin, in favor of Berlin. I'm also going to go with Berlin on this one. I think this is sort of the biggest underdog game, like I said. So what's your take?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Berlin. Jacob Sullivan has too much experience, too many guys around him. Man, I think Berlin could pull away with this one, but I'd love to see what I just talked about from the Red Lions. Create a war this weekend when you line up against Berlin, and you could knock these guys off. But again, the X factor to me is Jacob Sullivan, and then you got John Cole to have to throw to, man. You got to figure out a way to cover him. That's going to be a real issue for the Friends Alliance.
So there we have it. We're all in agreement on this one. We're going Berlin. Florence, prove us wrong. Now, moving on. This is basically the Saturday night game, and this is the one that all eyes are going to be on. Let's throw up the trailer from Tim Pasgang. He's the editor who makes these trailers. Throw up the trailer for the Rhine Fire at the Vienna Vikings. It's the matchup we've all been waiting for. 2 championship-winning teams set to face off in Week 3 of the AFLE. The Rhine Fire, coming off a dominant win at home against London, will travel to Austria to take on the undefeated Vienna Vikings.
Drops it right in there.
Rhine Fire quarterback Kenji Bahar is coming off an MVP performance in Week 2.
You love to see a quarterback have fun like that, JP, and just enjoy himself.
Ben Holmes and the Vikings are looking to keep their win streak alive after a hard-earned win in Poland.
Wow, what a throw and what a catch here for the Vikings touchdown.
Kalen Geiger and Jonathan Scott have the Fire offense burning hot.
It was just a symphony.
Can the loaded Vienna defense cool them off?
Sack number 5 on the day for the Vikings defense.
Coach Mark Ridgely of the Fire brings NFL experience to his squad, but Chris Kalaikai of Vienna brings decades of European experience to his. It's the game of the week in the AFLE, starting now. All right, Danny. We have all got our eyes on this one. I think everybody had this game circled when the schedules were announced months ago. 2 of the top teams in Europe with huge legacies. These teams with just decorated histories. And also, let's not forget, these teams have played each other the last few years. They played in a championship game against each other. Now, this is going to be a fascinating one. We got some good questions in the chat. We'll get to that in a second. But Danny, let's start off here with your initial thoughts on Rhine Fire Vienna Vikings.
Well, you've got the 2 juggernauts. This will be the best football game available to watch in the world this weekend. I will say that absolute fact. Look around the world. Who else is playing football? This is going to be the best game to watch. Man, you've got 2 juggernauts playing against each other. Great defenses, great offenses. It's going to come back down to that turnover battle. It's going to come back down to big moments, the 3rd downs. How many times can you convert on 3rd down to keep the other offense off the field? Can you frustrate the opponent's defense? Man, this is going to be an electric environment. I love the Generali Arena, man. We never lost a game when I was out there at the Generali Arena. Really fun environment to be there, man. I can't wait to watch this one.
Well, Ricardo just says, I'll say it again, there's no world where Vienna loses at Generali with this team and this chemistry. I mean, Generali, when you have games here, this is a special one. It is one of the best stadiums to watch European American football. And Danny, this.
Man, Nick, I know you froze for a second, but I know exactly what you're going to say. This game is unmatched. This is one of those type of games that will be remembered for the entire season. Regardless if it's a regular season game or not, it will feel like a playoff game, a championship game, a game that will be remembered in the arena of the Generali Arena for a long time. So go ahead, Nick.
Sorry, I popped out there. I got too excited and my internet, it was on fire. Ryan Fire. That's a bad pun. Here's what I was going to say is that we've got two great defenses, of course. And, I love to talk about defense, but the offensive weapons that these teams have as well. Obviously, Kalen Geiger, the new wide receiver who played at Texas Tech, and then Kenji Bahar, who kind of was with the Baltimore Ravens. Then you got Jonathan Scott, who went for 100 and something plus on the ground, just absolutely dominant. And then, of course, you got Harlan Quofi, who kind of does it all. So, and then on the Vikings side, obviously, Ben Holmes, third year with the program, one of the best quarterbacks in Europe, in this league. You got Yannick Meyer. He's got the two-headed monster at running back with Kari Pajarainen and Albert Wiesextraub. And so both of these guys are really getting it done on the ground, Ben getting it done through the air. I think it's going to be electric. So everyone in the chat, you can start putting your picks in there. And there was an interesting question here, Danny, from the chat from Oliver. And it is, Danny, if you could magically gift the Vienna Vikings one play from your current UAB playbook to beat the Fire this weekend, what are you calling? From our offensive guru mind right here, Danny, what are you calling?
Well, here, I don't think it's about the plays itself. I will answer this. When I coach the Vienna Vikings, they'll tell you this as well. It's all about the players. So who are you going to? That's, to me, is the really big question. So to answer that question, Oliver, who am I going to? I think one of the major key components in this game is that receiving core for Vienna. How do they match up with that secondary? The secondary of the Rhine Fire is the one team, in my opinion, that can match up with the Vienna firepower at the receiver position. So who's going to be the X factor in that game? I think it's your two tight ends. I think it's Beer Bomber, and I think it's Psychovitz. If you have the ability to use those guys in multiple ways to force the safeties to have to now play within the hashes because you have those two going off. Now Noah Torre is opened up by himself. You got Stewart opened up by himself. You've got Yannick Meyer, who had a great game last week. You have these receiving core guys that have the ability to take the top off the defense when they're one-on-one. They're a really tough matchup. And then let's not even forget the running game that they can bring. But I do think it matters. How do you control those safeties? Because we have a great safety on the Rhine Fire, man. So I can't wait to watch this one.
Dude, this is really going to be a crazy one. You said those two tight ends, Beer Bomber and Psychovitz. These guys are just matchup nightmares. And then that's not even getting to kind of the outside threats. All those wide receivers, Noah Tua, Yannick Meyer, Philip Hahn, and then all under the mind of Jordan Newman running that offense. So, but just you said, Marius Kinsey, inside linebacker for the Rhine Fire. And a lot of times you have like an inside backer or backers kind of going against tight ends in the pass game there. Could be a little bit interesting to see if he's able to slow down those guys at all. And then you've got one of my favorite players to watch from week one was Christian Matthew in that Rhine Fire secondary. He's playing, obviously, he's a corner, play a little bit kind of like nickel and everything, played a little bit in the center of the field. He's another guy that you can match up against those tight ends because he's big. He's a big, long defender as well. We just got NFL level talent all over this football field, man. And we're seeing in the chat, Danny, the Rhine Fire have been chosen by the chat to win this ball game. Now, I'll let you go first. I'll let you pick.
Let's rock, paper, scissors. I want you to go first on this one, Nick.
All right. You know what? Rock, paper, scissors. Ready? Rock,
ready?
Paper, scissors, shoot.
Scissors. All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Last try.
All right, last try.
You know what? No, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll bite the ball.
Yes, that's what I was going for. I'm trying to prolong it, so you'd have to go first. Go ahead.
Uncomfortable, and maybe I just pick. All right.
That's exactly what I was going with.
The Rhine Fire played one game so far. It was a very easy. They had rolled over the London Warriors at home. We know the Rhine Fire at home are very, very comfortable playing in that big stadium, having all their fans there. So it was a very comfortable environment for them. Vienna Vikings are coming back home after being on the road in defeating one of the top three teams in this league. So I said it earlier when I was talking about teams that have been a little bit more battle tested. Well, for me, the Vienna Vikings are a little bit more battle tested so far because of that game. And then you got to add on the fact that they're at home, Generali Arena. It is free to enter for Austrian military personnel. You're going to have all sorts of fun fanfare around the game. It's going to be an incredible environment. I think this is going to be a back and forth barn burner. But in the end, I am going to go with Vienna Vikings. Okay. I try to create a little anticipation right there. This is another one where I slept on it. I was thinking about it last night. I was actually thinking Ryan Fire. I was watching a little more Ryan Fire, but it's just because they're a little less battle tested so far this season. Prove me wrong. Danny, what do you got? What are your thoughts?
Man, Generali Arena. That was my first home when I came back out there, man. You know, we did not lose a single football game at Generali Arena. The Vienna Vikings are so tough to play at home. They go out there. You've seen it already for who they are right now. This is the team that has shown that they are one of the top teams in this league. They're explosive in every aspect of the game. Then we watched the Rhein Fire last week. The Rhein Fire showed what they could possibly be, but they haven't been battle tested yet. But I do think their defense, their offense is reloaded and ready for a championship. Wait a second. I said Vienna doesn't get beat at Generali, except for one team last year, which was the Rhein Fire. I'm going to go with the Rhein Fire pulling this off as an old Vienna guy, but I think Rhein Fire is ready to show who they are this week. And I think this is a team, when I watch them defensively, this is a team that will match up, and not only match up with the Vienna Vikings, I think they're going to create a nightmare versus Coach Newman, who is, to me, one of the greatest coaches of all time. But the players, the preparation that Coach Ridgely has with the Rhein Fire, it hurts my heart to say this, but I can't go against this one. I'm going to pick the Rhein Fire upsetting the Vienna Vikings at Generali Arena.
Woo! Danny Mitchell and Mia in the chat says, great call. She's happy about that. Danny, I love it, man. I like that we're on opposite sides on this one. And this is a toss-up, man. This one could really go either way. I think we're all in for a massive treat, whether you're in Vienna and you're going to that game in person, which I'm very jealous of anybody who is in the vicinity and can do that, or you're watching it live on TV or on AFLE Plus. And don't forget, this is a full-on salute to service game day, and both teams are also going to be in special uniforms. So it's going to be great football, and it's also going to look cool with the uniforms on the field. Danny, I love that, man. You're lighting a little fire there going against your Vienna roots. I respect that. I do respect that. We are going to see, man.
We will find out this weekend. We're going to really find out. Hopefully, man, it does hurt my heart a little bit to choose against Vienna. Hopefully they prove me wrong, but I think this Rhein Fire team is not one to be messed with this year.
There we go. So there we have it. I'm Vienna, chat's Ryan, and Danny is Ryan. We're going to revisit all of that on Monday. You guys make sure that you tune in, and we will see who gets the points. Now, let's move on here to our final game of the weekend. Danny, I'm also going to be on the call for this one. The Alpine Rams from Switzerland traveling to London, Cherry Red Records Stadium to play the Warriors. Let's throw up the trailer now. Closing out week 3 in the AFLE, we travel to the United Kingdom for the London Warriors to play host to the visiting Alpine Rams. Two teams set to battle it out and try to earn their first victory. The London Warriors are coming off a tough road trip against the heavyweight Rhein Fire, and they'll look to bounce back against the newly formed Alpine Rams.
There's the lone touchdown of the evening there to Joseph Hamilton.
The Rams of Switzerland struggled early in their first game last week, but found momentum in the second half with quarterback Gabriel Cunningham and wide receiver Devin Burrell bringing a spark to the offense. Gabriel Cunningham with the first ever touchdown in Alpine's Rams history. One squad will walk away with their first win of the season, and the other will head back to the drawing board.
What an athletic catch. Bukaya goes up and makes an acrobatic catch.
It's the final game of week 3 in the AFLE season here at Cherry Red Records Stadium. All right, Danny, that is our final game of the weekend. Back to Cherry Red Records Stadium for the London Warriors after being on a road against the Rhein Fire. These are two teams that have not won a game yet. Obviously, London 0-2, the Alpine Rams 0-1. So one of these teams is going to walk away with the first win of the season. And I think this could be a really interesting one, man. These are two very, very hungry teams. I think the Alpine Rams really, like I said, in the second half of their first game, started to pick it up and move in the right direction, right trajectory there. London, little bit, it's hard to tell because was it a step back against the Rhine Fire? It's tough. There's a lot of different factors there. What are your initial thoughts on this one?
Man, I think this one's going to come down to the wire. Like you said, I think these are two teams that are hungry for a win. They're also trying to find themselves. I do believe when they match up with each other, they haven't really felt success. They'd have, I'll give the Rams example, right? The Rams did make a fight back, but they haven't felt truly what it feels like when you start to pull away from a team or dominate. The same thing with London. London showed some flashes of greatness versus Warsaw. They did fight last week versus the Rhine Fire, but they really haven't put everything together. So this is an opportunity for both teams to not only showcase who they are versus each other, but more importantly, who they are to each other, what they are as an organization, as a team. This is going to come down to the wire, man.
The chat's going crazy on this one. Davide Kovac says the two of the best UK DPs are playing for the Rams, and that's you got Chad Walleran and you got Okunlola in that defensive backfield. So this is going to be kind of a homecoming game for them. Let's see what else we got in the chat here. Ricardo Foglio says Warriors have a winning culture behind, but I can see the Rams sneak in a win here. Oliver, the Rams have elite playmakers, but those 20 penalties against Berlin were a killer. If they don't fix the discipline, London's physical defense will suffocate them. The chat's getting after it here. These are nice little analyses on our game this weekend. Yeah, Danny, I mean, I think, Kari Lyles, obviously, threw for just over 100 yards last weekend against the Rhine Fire. But again, it's very, very hard to make a judgment off that. And like I said, I think 95 teams out of 100 are going to lose that game on the road against the Rhine Fire. So it'll be a little bit more of an even match, I would say, of these two kind of they're new teams into the league, new playing at the European-wide level. So I do think that we're in for a treat. Now, do you want me to go first on this one? Chat, you guys can also start putting in your guesses here, your picks, Rams or Warriors. Who you think is going to win the final game of week 3? What do you think, Danny?
Well, you were so generous to go first the last time. I'll take this one first, Nick. I appreciate you playing along with me in the rock, paper, scissors. I was going to drop a bomb about that going with the Rhine Fire. My heart was racing too much. That's why I needed you to go first one, the last one. Man, this one's a tough one for me, though, man. I do think this is a game where both teams are evenly matched. And why I say they're evenly matched is we have two teams that are trying to find themselves. The Rams have one game under their belt. The Warriors have two, but two really tough games. The Warriors defense, and we've seen it in the chat a couple times, the Warriors defense is a tough defense. Personnel-wise, they've got the great guys out there. Coach Kent is leading that group. Coach Shannon on the offensive side, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm going crazy right now. I'm jumping back to Berlin on this. I'm talking about, Coach Allen on the offensive side for London. I think they're starting to put things together offensively there. But with that all said, I still think the X factor in this game is Gabe Cunningham. We saw the flashes last week. Gabe Cunningham is the modern day Michael Vick of this league. So I'm going to have to go with the Rams because I think Gabe Cunningham creates electric ability when he touches the football, man.
Hey, you're right, man. I was comparing him to Cam Newton in the game the other day, which was when he had a couple of those red zone touchdown runs. Let's see. We've got the Warriors coming back home to Cherry Red Records, and hopefully get a little bit more of a crowd here this time. They have a little bit more leeway or headway for fans to know that the game is at this stadium, and it should be a great one. I think that I'm going to have to lean towards the Rams, but I think London is going to walk away with new life and feeling also like, okay, that's a step in the right direction. If I was a Rams fan last week, they lost the game to the Berlin Thunder. But if I'm a Rams fan, I'm walking away from that feeling pretty good because you saw the trajectory change and the improvement. I think that this is kind of what's going to happen in London this weekend. Going to be a tight ball game, but ultimately those playmakers on the Rams, you Gabriel Cunningham, you got Devin Burrell, you got these guys, you got a guy like Timothy Sherman on the defense, DeMarco Ortiz on the defense, Jack Lowe on the defense. So a lot of these guys that I think are getting after it. I'll go Rams, But if you're a London Warriors fan, you're going to feel pretty good, and you feel like, okay, we're getting it figured out here, and then possibly the next week and we'll get a win here. So we're going with the Rams on this one. But Danny, not an easy decision. Not an easy decision at all, right?
No, not at all. And actually, if you would have gone first, I would have flipped and gone to the London Warriors. I'll be real, just to try to get those points. But man, this is, like you said, and I say that because I think this is one of those games that is a coin flip, man. And it's going to come down to the very end of how clean each one of these teams can play. I think this game's going to be a great football game to watch, just like every game we get to see this weekend, man.
Hey, you know what? Screw it. Maxie, flip me back. I'm going London. I just had a change of heart. I'm going London. They're at home. It's going to happen. Give me the London Warriors. Flip it. All right?
Oh, man.
Okay. I just got an overwhelming feeling on that one, man. All right. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I will regret that. But I'm going with the London Warriors. Sorry, Alpine Rams is in the chat. The actual football team is in the chat right now. You know, I love you guys. I'm going there. All right. So there we have it. Those are our 4 games for this weekend. Full slate, awesome games. Going to just be great matchups all over the field. Great team matchups and great individual matchups. Now, you guys, we said we're giving away a free game pass here. Danny, we got to look through the chat here and kind of try and decide who really stood out. I mean, there's a few. TKYO stood out for me. Tyson UK stood out for me. You got anybody that stood out for you?
Yeah, I mean, you said those two were really standing out to me. I mean, I got to shout out my dad. I'm not going to give him that. Dad, you ain't winning this, but I appreciate you being on here. And then Mia out here just giving me some support too. But you know, man, I can't take away from, you know, TKYO made us, he made us laugh the whole time. Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest parts. Every comment he made, you know, it was not only productive. He's been on the show every week for us as well, too. You know, I think that's one great thing. He's been contributing, whether we agree or not. That's what this is about, y'all. And really, chat, that's why we appreciate you all so much. This is about us all interacting. Listen, man, you're getting to know me more and more, man. We're not the geniuses of the world here. Nick is. I can speak for myself. I'm not the genius of the world. We love having and interacting with you all. So, man, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you all making this so fun for us to be on this show, man.
Yeah, there we go. So, Danny, I don't know. I feel like we got to go TKYO N7G because they made us laugh. They made it.
I'm with you, Nick. I think, you know, he's earned it. I think he or she, we don't know who's behind that, you know, but you've earned the free pass there. And ultimately, chat, this is really for all of you. But I think, oh man, look at that. TKYO is saying they'll give it to someone else there, man. What a guy. That's awesome.
Oh wow, TKYO. Okay, look at that community. I'm back, I think. So then, should we go with Tyson UK? Tyson UK, do you have
Absolutely.
one? Tyson UK, you're gonna
Tyson
win
UK
because of the generosity of TKYO. Tyson UK, you're gonna get it. All right, there we go. There we go. So Tyson, DM the league on Instagram to claim your free game pass. And if you don't hear back from them, DM Danny or I, but the league is expecting your message. We're going to get you set up there with the free game pass. You have to sign up with your email, and you'll have a free account, and then they will upgrade you to the full season pass. €50 value right there. Look, it's very valuable to be watching this show and to be contributing in the chat. Right, Danny?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you saw what my dad just said there. I tried to put it up. My dad said he's cutting my inheritance right there for not picking them, man. So I got $50 less in my inheritance now.
Oh, that is great. Mr. Mitchell, I would have given it to you. Please replace me in Danny's spot.
That's right. Well, hey, man, we're investors into Quiver. Get on Quiver. You know.
There we go. Shout out, make sure you answer the Quiver. Okay. Love that. All right, everybody. So, Tyson, congratulations. We're going to be doing that more and more. We're going to be giving away game passes. You guys deserve it. You guys are here and passionate about AFLE football. Thank you so much for being in the chat, being part of this. Tune in to all 4 of those games this weekend and tune back into us on Monday. We're going to be talking about all of it. Thank you, everybody, and have a great Friday.
We'll see you on Monday.